Sony injury opens
Randall
up
Cobb.
Rex Burkhead. That's your boy.
Yeah, but Sony at least will be back. Freaking Randall Cobb might be serious injury.
Randall Cobb, and then Bakhtiari gets hurt.
No,
Family Day.
Bakhtiari's fine though. He
Yeah.
just has a great ankle.
Well, family night turned into our pets' heads falling off night.
It's fine. I missed this. The first family night I've missed like ever since I was up at the cottage.
Is it because you were getting loaded?
Yep.
Well, let's get loaded.
Kane is in the building.
All right, DJ. Welcome to the Loaded Box Podcast.
We never finished first because we finished last.
Well, thank you once again for tuning in to the Loaded Box Podcast. I am Ben Morgan. That is DJ Primo. And we were just talking about family night. Man, you're a diehard Packers fan, and you missed family night for the first time in your memory.
I never missed family night, and I was up north fucking with I guess my uncle.
Fucking with your uncle. Nice.
Yeah, fucking with my uncle and his wife, and we got all sorts of drunk, so I just couldn't do it.
I say, at least you had a hammer time in it. But hey, unlike me, you made it back, and you're podcasting today despite you went drinking 2 days in a row, and you're a 30-plus-year-old man, and that's a feat, man. Not many people can do that at our age anymore.
I feel pretty good. I think I was still hungover yesterday morning. Like, I was hungover till about 2 o'clock, and then I started drinking again last night, and I think just it carried over, and today the alcohol's in my body and it just became part of me, so I'm not hungover today.
Yeah, so
it's nice.
At some point you're going to crash though, and Monday's going to be terrible.
So I am just hungover right now.
Well, we are going to do our fantasy football rankings episode. Today we're going to do running backs 1 through 12. If you missed our last episode, we did running backs 13 through 24. But before we get to that, we've got some exciting news we need to share. So we're going to be doing a giveaway. DJ, do you got the podcast drum roll?
I can't do it on this microphone. Maybe again.
All right. Imagine a drum roll, and it's an Odell Beckham Jr. autographed mini helmet. So in order to win, make sure you're following us on Twitter if you aren't already, because that's how you enter to win. You're going to want to win this one. I'm thinking about keeping it, but DJ threatened my life in the event that I try to keep it. So how this came about, we teamed up with the good people over at Pristine Auction to provide the giveaway. And here's what you have to do in order to qualify. First, make sure you're following the Loaded Box Podcast on Twitter at LoadedBox. Next, find the tweet where we announced the giveaway. It should be easy enough to find. It's the one with all the retweets. It's got the picture of the actual helmet. Make sure you retweet that tweet and then tag a friend. Lastly, you can earn an additional name in the drawing by leaving our podcast an iTunes review and taking a screenshot of it, and then send that screenshot to us in a direct message. And in the event you've already left a pod review on iTunes, first, thank you. Second, go ahead, take a screenshot of that and send it to us. And then we'll be announcing the winner on Twitter Live at one of our fantasy drafts on Sunday, September 2nd. So you're going to want to tune into that, because we're going to be doing live videos throughout that. It's going to be a hell of a time. And as I said, it's brought to us by Pristine Auction, so make sure you're following them with them. Check them out. If you go to our website, loadedboxpodcast.com, if you click on any of the articles from the homepage there, you will see a Pristine Auction logo on the top right of the screen. That link is going to direct you to their website, and then you can bid on affordable autographed memorabilia in an auction style. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you get signed up and tell your friends so you can try to steal it from them in the event that they win it. So DJ, with that being said.
Christ, you're all sorts of jazzed up today. I can't even. Thank God you have the energy you have right now.
Oh, I'm carrying the show.
I am low energy. You're all fucking just.
I'm excited for this Odell Beckham Jr. giveaway. Do you know how hard it's been for me not to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to take it. Too bad. The rest of you can suck it.
It's hard. I wish it would have never gotten mailed to you. It's ridiculous.
Well, we are doing a giveaway, so folks, make sure. I just said folks. How old am I?
Yeah, I don't know.
Make sure you're following. Get signed up for that. It should be fun. But DJ, we're doing running backs, fantasy style, 12 through 1. Why don't you go through yours, I'll go through mine, then we'll go through and talk about which ones we're targeting and which ones we are avoiding.
Forgot to do my voice exercises before this, so it could get bad. La 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 la.
Get it warmed
at
up.
number 12, we're starting 12-1 here. 12, I have Dalvin Cook. 11, running back is Kareem Hunt. 10 is Melvin Gordon. 9 is Jordan Howard. 8 is Devontae Freeman. 7 is Leonard Fournette. 6 is Alvin Kamara. Number 5 is Saquon Barkley. 4 is David Johnson. 3 is Ezekiel Elliott. 2 Todd Gurley, and my number 1 running back for the last 2 years is Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell takes home your top ranking. All right, here's my 12 real quick. I've got Devontae Freeman. 11, I've got Christian McCaffrey. 10, Dalvin Cook. 9, Jordan Howard. 8, Melvin Gordon. 7, Leonard Fournette. 6, Alvin Kamara. 5, Kareem Hunt. 4, David Johnson. 3, which is your number 1, Le'Veon Bell. 2, Todd Gurley. And 1, I actually have Zeke Elliott right now with my top spot. So we'll get to Zeke here in a little bit, but DJ, why don't you remind us who your number 12 guy was, and let's go through those.
So my number 12 is Dalvin Cook. You'll notice there's a lot more similar names in our top 12 than there is in our running back twos. But I think it's a lot of consensus guys up there, right? Guys that were pretty good last year, obviously. So at 12, I have Dalvin Cook, guy who was just on par for what did he play for? Just 4 games last year before he got injured, and he looked like he was going to be up there with the Alvin Kamara and Kareem Hunt,
Leonard Fournette, all the other
rookies. So it looked like he'd be like a top 5-7 running back last year. So on a team that is all about controlling the ball, isn't going to throw it a lot, is going to keep Dalvin involved. He's going to get plenty of touches. You got to expect him to bounce back from last year and kind of just fit in right where he was. From all reports I hear, that he almost looks more explosive and faster after his injury. So I don't know what they're giving him there. I think we should drug test this guy.
Yeah, shooting him up strong.
Apparently he looks just as explosive, if not more explosive. Again, those are camp reports, which I hate more than anything. But if any of that is even true,
right, could be dangerous.
Modern medicine is crazy.
Right.
So
he.
But yeah, there's no reason not to think he's not going to be top 12 based off the start that he had going last year. And then when you saw Jerick McKinnon get in, he played well. When Latavius got back, he played well. So they're going to run the ball. They're going to throw it to him. He's going to be involved a ton in this offense, as to not screw that offense over by throwing it too much and put their awesome defense in bad situations.
Yeah, you were spot on because you have him ranked. Well, you were close anyways. He's going as the 12th pick in the first round, the 10th running back. Yep. I was actually spot on with where I have him ranked based on ADP. And I think that's properly ranked. I really loved Cook last year. I had him in a league last year. He was doing awesome. He could have even been doing better. I remember specifically him being tackled at the 1-yard line 4 times before getting hurt. So that's an additional 20 to 30 points right there. Really, the only concern is how does he come back from injury? But it happened so early. Like you said, all the reports have him as a full go. There may be some concerns because they signed Cousins. They have a capable tight end in Rudolph, and Cousins loves tight ends. They have 2 top 15 wide receivers. But you and I both agree it'd be wise for the Vikings to stick to the run game, kind of as like their staple of their offense, since Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray, they can get it done. And all that's going to do is make Kirk Cousins' job even easier in the pass game. So I don't know if Dalvin's like a top target of mine that I need to reach for. But if he's there real late first, early second, and I'm in a position where I need the running back, I would probably take him. Yeah. Let's go on to your number 11.
Oh, let's pop back here. So number 11, I have Kareem Hunt, a guy I think I'm lower on the most. It has a lot to do with his offense. The fact that he went through a spell there for like 7 weeks where he seemed non-existent.
Real dry spell.
He was finished third last year as a fantasy scorer, as running backs. But I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I'm worried about this offense. The coaching change with the offensive coordinator. It's a lot of new things going on in that offense. It worries me. I'm down on everybody. Patrick Mahomes, I'm down on Kelsey, I'm down on Tyreek. Always been down on Tyreek.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I'm down on Kareem Hunt. Of course, Kareem has the ability to, obviously, is a mismatch of the backfield, catching the ball. Good runner. But I'm not, I don't know. I just feel like you're going to see a lot of it's going to be a lot more of that 7-week period where he did nothing this year and wasn't a reliable target at that point.
Weren't you on record in our sleeper bust episode that we did about a month or so ago, where we picked a sleeper and a bust from every division, and your bust candidate for the AFC West was the entire Chiefs offense.
Entire Chiefs offense.
So safe to say that you're ducking Kareem Hunt.
So what is he going at? He's going as running back.
Running back 9 at the 10th pick in the first round.
Yep, 10th pick in the first round. I'm not going to have any shares of Kareem Hunt.
I didn't think that you would.
But I mean, I guess I'm almost right on where he's going. I mean, running back 9, I have him at 11. So I mean, that's kind of low for a guy who finished 3rd in scoring last year and did go through 7. Those few weeks of just garbage last year. But I just don't like that offense. I'm down on it. He's not a guy I'm going to be grabbing. I'll probably opt for a wide receiver.
At that position.
Yep.
Yeah, he's currently my 5th ranked running back. I think actually his ADP is properly ranked. I think I'm a little bit high on him. I would actually see him as we get closer to fantasy draft season, like right before drafts. I'm probably going to end up having him around running back 7 or 8. But just for now, I'm still. I mean, I got him at 5. What I like about Hunt is the fact that I see the Chiefs' offense relying a bit more on the run, with Mahomes being not in his second season, but as his first year as a starter. I really think that they're going to end up relying on Hunt. What scares me about Hunt is that bad stretch that he went on last year. He went multiple games in a row without 100 yards, without a touchdown, literally killing fantasy teams who were killing it. Those fantasy teams were crushing it with Kareem Hunt. And then just boom, there was nothing for, like you said, like 7+ weeks.
So here it is. Week 6 through week 12, basically, he had 11 points or lower, never over 100 yards. 5 of those weeks, he had 7 points or less.
Oh.
And that was up to week 12. So week 8, 9, 11, and 12, because week 10 was a bye week. So it's 4 of those weeks. 8 and 13, so it is 5 weeks. All under 7 points. 7 points and lower. So that's just not.
No. And imagine if you'd have bought high on him.
Playoffs.
Like, if you'd have bought high on him, man, that just ruined your year right there, for sure.
Yeah, and then you probably lost the playoff game because their top guy that was dominating early in the season just didn't produce.
Right.
So
I think if maybe at his current ADP, like end first, early second, it would be hard for me to pass on him. But I'm a little bit more with you on this one, where I wouldn't seek him out, and I'd be a little bit worried about having him. I actually really like the idea of Spencer Ware this year. He's probably the clear number 2 guy. It looks like he got medically cleared. So being the number 2 guy, he's already going to get some carries. And let's say, I don't want to predict an injury, but if Hunt goes down, Spencer Ware's your guy, and you're going to get him real late. So I kind of like Ware, actually. Just not going to be topped about, obviously, as a top-tier running back, but he might be the one you want. Well, let's go to whoever you have ranked. I believe we were at 10. Yeah,
number 10, I have Melvin Gordon. He was also a guy who finished very high last year. He finished as RB number 5, 1,105 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns receiving. So about 12 total touchdowns. So one thing I worry about is that the Chargers are cursed.
Oh, God,
so
yes.
it's like you have to deal with that Chargers curse if you have Melvin Gordon on your team. Everybody just seems to be going down. I'm worried for his life coming this season. Honestly, I'm just worried about the curse. That's the thing I'm most worried about it. I mean, he's going to catch his good share of balls there. They use him on the backfield, especially it seems when they get out of the red zone. He catches a lot of balls and gets those opportunities for receiving touchdowns, which is huge for the touchdown league we're in. It's just in general, PPR leagues, all that good stuff. And he had a good year on the ground. So the way they're using, the way the NFL is just using running backs, he's one of those guys that is a mismatch out of the backfield that can actually catch and then also be a first, second down guy for you as well. So it's not like you can use him in any situation, which is great for them.
Right.
I am literally just nervous about like the guys that they're losing. They keep losing. They lose 2 different tight ends now.
Couple tight ends, Verrett in the backfield. It's like,
yeah, it's. I don't know.
The curse is real, man.
I'd be scared that he's just going to tear his ACL somehow.
I thought maybe they left the curse back in San Diego, but that shit came right with them to LA.
They are effed. So I'm glad we don't do our drafts until
after preseason.
A week before the season starts. Hard Knocks starts Tuesday night. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I got to get loaded up on that. But so Gordon was your 10th?
He was my 10.
Okay, so Gordon was my 8. He's currently the running back 8 according to ADP, going as the 9th pick in the first round. I think that's properly ranked. Gordon is definitely a target of mine. I do hear you with the curse, man. But I love the Chargers this year, despite already getting screwed by injuries. I really think that that's their division this year. I think Gordon's going to be a big part of that. I actually have a ton of information on Gordon because earlier this offseason I wrote a piece about him, and I just think he seems to kind of be a forgotten guy. So I just want to drop a little bit of information here because I think he can be a viable number 1 running back for your team. He finished the 2017 regular season under double-digit scoring just 3 times. He actually averaged over 20 fantasy points per game in a half PPR league during your standard fantasy playoffs, which is weeks 14 through 16. And most importantly, he put up over 25 points in your semifinals and 20 points in your championship matchup. He basically took your team, if you were in the playoffs, to the championship and probably won it for you. And if you don't think that a guy like Gordon can have boom weeks, or if you don't think that he can be the guy that your fantasy team leans on, just remember, he actually topped 20 fantasy points 5 times last year, and 2 of those games were over 30 fantasy points. And then you look at his receiving totals. You said he gets it done out of the backfield. 58 receptions last year. That's basically the equivalent of what a team's 3rd leading receiver produces. So those additional 58 catches, additional 476 receiving yards, and he caught 4 touchdowns, that really adds up when you talk about like half and full PPR leagues. So, oh, and then Gordon's actually even talked to the coaching staff about getting more involved in the passing game this year.
Yeah.
So
I remember them saying
maybe
that.
Maybe he even gets his wish there because Hunter Henry's gone.
And
so I think one people's concern about him was the touchdown thing. Remember last year, or his rookie year actually?
Yeah, a couple years back.
He didn't score a single touchdown the entire year. Well, the last 2 years he's totaled 24 touchdowns, and he's never topped 285 carries. So the mileage is still low, and the touchdowns are coming. I know I rattle off a lot of numbers there, but Melvin Gordon, that's a guy I'm targeting. I would love to have Melvin Gore as my RB1 this year.
Melvin Gore,
Din.
Yeah, I mean, all great points. I don't know. Again, he's another guy. I feel like if he was there, I'm probably going to opt in to take a wide receiver that I like better.
That's what everyone feels about him, though. He just drops unnecessarily.
Well, I'm probably going to end up being that guy, too.
Nice. Well, I will scoop him up.
And they're cursed. And the curse. I don't like to fuck with those curses. I'm assuming he tears his ACL this year. So
watch your damn mouth.
Yeah, I'm already moving on from him.
All right, let's keep moving on then. Who do you got number 9?
Number 9, I have Mr. Jordan Howard, who I think, as you were saying about Gordon, is massively underrated. People dropping him. I've seen him go on Twitter. People have been talking about him going as low as a 3rd round pick. It was like the first pick of the 3rd round, but 3rd round at that, I think he should be going late first, early second, early second probably at worst. His ADP right now is 2.03. That's running back 11.
Right.
He finished last year as RB10. He had a great year the year before. Matt Nagy says that he can play all 3 downs. They've been working on his hands. He obviously had some dropsies last year. A couple of specific times I can remember, we're right at the goal line. One against Pittsburgh, I believe, in which that game would have won. That catch ball would have won the game. But
I remember that one. That's a heartbreaker.
If he can improve the hands, what they say he's doing, and he's on the field, he's already going to be good. Whether or not he's not specifically a 3rd down back, because he wasn't last year,
right?
And he finished as the 10th. He got 1,122 yards when they were giving him ball a million times a game, just too many times. I think actually using him less or giving him less carries is going to benefit him because he's just so worn out. They just gave him the ball so much. I think this will open up more holes because they can't focus necessarily on that.
And he'll be more fresh.
Yes, and Trubisky's going to be able to open it up. So I think they're going to be throwing the ball downfield, which is going to open up more, have less loaded boxes.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, than they did last year. So Jordan Howard's going to get a lot more running room. I'm a huge fan of Jordan Howard. I'm going to try to scoop him up in second rounds if I can. If he's going to continue to drop lower and lower, people just seem to be so low on him. I love him. I think Tariq Cohen being played more and used more by Matt Nagy is going to help Jordan Howard actually.
So Howard was your number 9?
Number 9.
He was also my number 9. I think you said this. He's going as the 4th pick or 3rd or 4th pick, 2nd round, running back 11. I think that's properly ranked. I was low on Howard earlier this offseason, but man, I'm slowly coming around on him. In his 2 years in the NFL, he's rushed for over 1,100 yards both years. He went from 6 touchdowns to 9 touchdowns as rookie to his second season.
Yep.
I agree with you. I think the Bears lengthened Trubisky's leash this year.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I think they tried to get the ball in Coleman's hands this year to let him make plays. So maybe Howard doesn't hit that 275 carries like he did last year. But I'm right there with you. I think he's still worthy of like a mid-second round selection, and I would take him there. I would not be mad at all about going getting like the top wide receiver and coming back with Howard. I think you're set up pretty good that way. So yeah, I would take him as well.
Beautiful.
Let's go on to your number 8.
At number 8, I have Devontae Freeman. He's another one of those kind of boring guys that people just, he's consistently good, and then you kind of forget about him because he's always just right in the middle of the pack. Last year he was RB 13. Did he miss a couple of games? He had 865 yards, 7 touchdowns.
He only played 14 last year.
Yeah, so he didn't even play at the end of the year. So he's RB 14 with missing a couple of games. So that, again, you add a couple of games, he's probably more like RB 10 last year if he plays those 4 games. But despite, I'm one of those, I've been guilty of it. He was never a sexy pick. He was always kind of right there in the middle. I'm looking for these boom busts or these big boom guys who can give me these huge weeks all the time, or guys that I'm looking at later that I think can jump up real high. When Devontae is just doing it, year after year in such a consistent offense, who he's like the most solid part of, because really when it comes down to it, you never know who Matt Ryan's going to throw it to. But you know who he's going to hand the ball off to and give it to, and it's been consistently Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman there. Otherwise, outside of those guys, you just don't know who's going to do anything. Those two you definitely know are consistent. So, I mean, he's going to get the bulk of the touches and carries out of the backfield between the two of them. But he's just a guy you can plug in and count on him from most of the time from week to week. He's going to be a solid guy in your lineup as long as he's healthy, just like you do for everybody's case. And you're going to win. I mean, he gets the points you need to win games. Right. Like, he's a great building block to have a guy on your team like that.
Yeah, he's my 12th ranked guy. I would probably nominate him as a running back that didn't finish as a running back 1 last year, or that will this year, provided he stays healthy.
Yep.
Like I said, he's my 12th guy. He is running back 12, going as the 4th pick in the 2nd round. I think that's properly ranked, and I think he's a guy I'm likely targeting. I think Atlanta's offense takes a big step forward. Last year was the first time in 3 years that Freeman didn't rush for over 1,000 yards or have double-digit touchdowns. So, like you said, he only played 14 games, but every other year that he's played, over 1,000 double-digit touchdowns. That's literally the recipe to be an RB1. So he's had a full offseason now to get healthy. He's the running back that they gave the big contract to a couple of years ago. If you're drafting in the late 1st round and you take a wide receiver and you come back with Devontae Freeman, I really like your chances of finishing with those 2 guys, finishing as a running back 1 and a wide receiver 1 in their given position. So I'm a definite target, definite fan of Freeman this year.
Yeah, big fan. I'm not a big fan, but I think he's a great value pick.
For sure.
Of a guy who can be an
Midway
RB1 you can get in the second, midway through the 2nd round, that people are just going to bounce over because they're sexier picks, and you're going to get this. Like, if you took him over Mike Evans last year, you won with him. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you took him over a couple of these guys that look sexier, that kind of, I mean, he's a guy that I think you take him over Tyreek Hill, I think you're going to be happy that you took him over Tyreek Hill.
Absolutely. In my eyes, that's a no-brainer. There's no way I would pass on Freeman.
We're different.
There's a lot of people that would.
No, there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that would. I'm not in that category.
Yeah.
All right, what number are you on?
7. Oh, number 7, Leonard Fournette.
There he is. Your boy.
I love Leonard Fournette. He does play with the Blake Bortles. He's just a freak. He's just a kind of. I've said this multiple times, but he's just like, to me, he just reminds me of the closest thing that we're going to see to Adrian Peterson, and underrated pass catcher. He's a better pass catcher than what's his name that I was just talking about, Jordan Howard.
Oh, for sure.
And I think he had 302 receiving yards for a touchdown. I think he's going to be involved more in the passing game. Blake Bortles is making better decisions, so I think he will check down to his running back when it's not there downfield. I think that was his issue 2 years ago when he had all those interceptions, or 3 years ago. when he had his 18 interceptions or whatever it is. He's more likely to get him the ball on the screens or on dump off plays when it's not down there. And he's just going to continue to tote that rock. The offensive line is proving once again. The defense is great. It's another Minnesota. They are the Minnesota Vikings of the AFC, right? They both got to their respective championships with, people perceive as below average quarterbacks. I don't agree. Case Keenum is not like Bortles, but we'll get to that Case Keenum talk.
Let's talk for another day.
In a later podcast, hopefully in a couple of days that we'll be releasing later. So that's a teaser. But I mean, he's just going to get it. The volume's going to be there. He's young. They're going to run the shit out of him because he's a young running back on a team with not a lot of wide receiver weapons and a great defense. So you play that slow ball. And fucking what's his name? Doug Marrone loves to run the ball.
Oh, God,
he loves toting that rock. He talked about it on a podcast I listened to not too long ago. Pardon my take. When they interviewed him, he loves running the ball. It's like his favorite thing to do. So, and he's going to continue to see as long as he stays healthy. He's going to continue to be one of those freaks. I don't care if he gets 3.9 yards per carry, as long as he's getting 25 carries a game. That's 100 yards. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy with that, and I expect his receptions to go up. I expect him to have a couple more receiving touchdowns and maybe 100 and 200 more receiving yards this year.
Yeah. He's my 7th ranked running back as well. He's going as the 8th pick in the first round. I would say that's properly ranked, and at that ranking, it's a guy that I would definitely target as well. I keep
saying properly. I keep forgetting to say properly ranked, or I'm bad at that.
It's all right. I think based on what you say, people can understand how you feel about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jags are the team they're going to rely on the run game. They're going to rely on Leonard Fournette, and Leonard Fournette is definitely one of those running backs on an NFL team that's going to dominate the carries. So, yeah, he battled some injuries. Not going to knock him for that, though. But if you're a believer in volume is king in fantasy football, no one is your guy more than Leonard Fournette.
Oh, yeah.
He had 7 games last year with 20-plus carries and an additional 3 more games with 20-plus carries in the playoffs.
Yeah.
10 total touchdowns his rookie season. Another 4 in the playoffs. So they're going to rely on him when the game's on the line. And like you just mentioned, Jacksonville's the team that's led by their defense. They're going to be running the ball. They're going to control the clock. They shouldn't be really in any blowout situations. That's going to take Fournette out of the game.
Nope.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Fournette. I have him at 7. I think Fournette's one of those guys, how I said that I'll probably end up dropping Hunt. I think Fournette is going to climb above a guy like Kamara and Kareem Hunt for me, and I'm going to probably end up with Fournette right around like number 5.
Yeah, I love me some Leonard Fournette. I didn't have him on any of my teams. I don't know how. Last year,
after you claimed that you're going to own him in every single league, and then you didn't.
I said him
and
and fucking Devontae Adams, and I didn't get either one of them.
What happened? Yeah.
I don't know. And where I'm picking this year, I don't think I'll end up with Leonard Fournette either, unless he drops to me, or I'm going picking ahead of him. So I want him, but I probably won't get him because I think 1.08 is very, very fair.
Yeah,
I think it's exactly where he should go. At 7.8, somewhere around there. I think, God, Kamara is tough for me. I might move Fournette above Kamara, but keep him below Saquon. But I'm a big Leonard Fournette fan.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get to those guys here in a second. Maybe even next. Who do you have at number 6?
I have Alvin Kamara.
I guessed it.
So I may switch those two. Obviously, you've got those first 4 games without Mark Ingram. What's like I've said last week, so I'm not going to hit on it too much, but I think that might hurt him because the two of them together is what makes both of them so lethal.
They are peanut butter and jelly, man.
Yeah, finishing at the 4th and 6th running backs alike there last year in 2017. I think the volume, the ability to be able to focus on him without Mark Ingram out there and not knowing what they're going to do is going to hurt a little bit. Obviously, they're going to still find ways to use him in the passing game, move him around a bunch. He's going to get his touches, but I just don't think they're going to be as explosive as what you saw those first 4 games. I think that you'll see those numbers shoot up once Ingram comes back into the offense. Again, they're going to be focusing on the run. I think Drew Brees, and I said this before, I think Drew Brees is kind of going, he's going to be throwing the ball a lot less now. He's getting older. The arm strength's not quite there. It's just, I think you're seeing a new look Saints at this point, and Sean Payton's very good at knowing what he has and taking what he has and using it correctly for the benefit of his team. So those running backs are going to be used. So after week 4, I think I'm scared that people are going to be real worried that Kamara's just not producing, and then Ingram comes back, and I think those numbers will go back to what it was last year. I think he actually might be going a little bit high now that I think about it. I think I might even drop him one, maybe 2 spots. Well, probably 1 spot.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot, but
yeah. I have a feeling
it's just nerve-wracking for a guy that just kind of bursts on the scene out of nowhere like that, to grab him as your number 1 running back and just hope that he does that exact same thing, because you haven't seen a couple of years like that. You just saw the 1 year out of nowhere. That makes me nervous.
Right. Yeah, I feel like you might have been copying my notes, because I think this is 3 players in a row we've had the exact ranking for.
I never looked at your notes.
Because I had Kamara number 6 as well. He's actually the running back 6. He's going as the 6th pick in drafts according to ADP. I think that's properly ranked, but I think what you said is exactly how I feel. I'm a little nervous about that second-year regression. But you watched him last year? Crazy talented. So I don't think it's a talent regression. I think it's just because his numbers were so outrageous last year. And now you're drafting him 6th overall based on 1 year of having 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Yeah.
A little worried he just doesn't live up to that again. Everyone knows the Ingram situation. I like your take, thinking, because everyone's like, oh, Kamara is going to dominate first 4 weeks, and then Ingram's going to come back and it's going to get split again. I sort of think we're in the minority that I think he'll be okay the first 4 weeks, but I think you're going to see a better split and better usage of him when Ingram does get back.
Yeah.
So, unlike you, though, I'm not quite as convinced that Breeze is just going to take the complete back seat in the offense. I think we're going to see Breeze's numbers go up a little bit, and I think we're going to see the running back's numbers regress a little bit. Maybe not a ton, but enough to not warrant him as the 6th pick. So, yeah, I think it'd be crazy to say you're totally avoiding Kamara, but I think you need to take him in the right situation, and I don't think number 6 overall is the right situation. So that's where I'd probably pass on him based on his ADP.
I mean, who else is Drew Brees throwing to in that offense besides Michael Thomas?
Dude, all you need is Michael Thomas. You got Ted Ginn.
I knew that was
Cam
coming.
Meredith. He's got some people.
Good. Yeah, again, I think you're going to see his numbers be like the exact same as last year, honestly.
Well, that's why
I think you're going to see the exact same thing that you saw last year. I don't think you see any difference in Drew Brees' number. They might be the exact same numbers.
That's why we play fantasy, so that we can draft our people that we believe in, and then someone wins and someone loses. So, all right. Who do you got number 5?
Who do I have number 5?
Oh, I know who you have number 5.
Is it my boy?
Yeah.
At number 5, I have Saquon Barkley. Look, you can't do analysis from the previous years in the NFL, but I do know I've seen the most explosive mismatch problem in like the history of college football, and Saquon Barkley. He's just going to cause issues for everyone, especially being with a bunch of guys like Ingram and Odell, and everybody's trying to figure out, and Sterling Shepard, like who to guard. You got to deal with Saquon, and then with fucking Eli's noodle arm, he's not going to be throwing the ball that far downfield. So get it to that running back who's not that far away. They're going to use. I mean, Saquon's going to be everywhere. He's going to line up all over the field. You're going to see him, in the backfield. You're going to see him motioning him out to the slot, running back and forth. He's going to be all over the place. He's just going to be a problem for everybody on the field. He's bigger, faster, stronger than most of these guys in the NFL already. The guy's everybody looks at the pictures of those quads. You see those motherfuckers' legs?
They look like me when I look in the mirror.
Yeah, right. They're like fucking, like your
waist.
Your whole chest, like your whole body. Like his leg is the size of your entire body.
He's running with 2 of me on his legs.
Yeah, he's using you to run. Yes. Like this guy is a horse, and he is just a freak, dude. I mean, even watching that guy last year on kick returns, was just fun to watch.
He did that.
Yeah, he killed that. In the one game he wasn't doing anything, that's where he bust out. So he's got a lot of weapons around him, which are going to help him more than hurt him, because they can't focus specifically on Saquon, the rookie. They got fucking Odell Beckham, who's potentially the best wide receiver in the league there.
Yep, and Evan Ingram. Shout out.
Yeah,
Get signed up.
And Evan Ingram, who people are projecting as a top 5 tight end, it seems, this year. So Saquon's going to have a huge year. I'm thinking about vaulting him up ahead of David Johnson.
All right, well, I'm going to get to David Johnson. And if you missed last episode, I dropped the knowledge as to why I actually have Saquon Barkley ranked as my 13th running back.
Boy.
And yeah, maybe that is a little bit high. But in case you didn't hear my reasoning in the last episode, I'll briefly touch on what my theory is. But actually, just go back and listen to it as well, because I feel like I did a good job explaining it last time. But what kills me is how can you take the rookie running back for a Giants team who's not run the ball well at all recently, number 5 or 6th overall, ahead of Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Leonard Fournette, Kamara, Melvin Gordon, Odell Beckham Jr. Like, that's where I struggle with it. Not that I don't think he's talented, it's that there's so many guys who have done it on a consistent basis that I just value more than a guy with a super high ceiling, but on a team that I just don't know if they can run the ball.
They can, because Saquon Barkley is
because Saquon Barkley's there, and he's the answer to
it
every
doesn't,
question.
It doesn't matter. He literally can. He'll be able to do it himself, and he's gonna catch it and he's gonna run it. So if they can't run, they'll just throw it to him. Like they'll devise other ways. They'll devise ways to get him the ball. You're not gonna give him the ball when you have a superstar on your team. You ask me. I was a superstar back in my day. They always found a way to get me the ball. They were just like, hey.
Yeah, they let you play catch on the sideline.
I found ways to get me the ball.
Well, this is definitely one of the debates that we probably have the biggest difference in, just because I think you're going to end up with Barkley on some teams, and there's no way I'm going to end up with Barkley on a team.
Barkley is going as 1.06.
Too early.
So 5th running back, and that's
literally like 6 or 7 or 8 positions too early.
And I have him as my 5th running back. So perfect.
You can have him. All right.
I'll have him.
He's your number 5. You said you might have him above David Johnson, so I'm assuming he's your number 4.
I have David Johnson at number 4. I like David Johnson from this talent standpoint. He's coming off a wrist injury, so I'm not worried about that at all. He's no knee, no Achilles, none of that shit. So you don't have to worry about any of the explosiveness or any of that changing. It's just a wrist. Okay, he just jerks off a little bit slower now, or he uses the other hand.
He uses the other hand.
He's using his left hand to jerk off. Now he jerks off like you.
Permanent stranger.
Yeah. So now he jerks off like Matt. He uses his left hand, but I mean, besides that, there's nothing. But the thing that I worry about is that offense. Again, another offense that I think makes me a little bit nervous. Sam Bradford, the weird sleeve wonder. Is
the kid who looks like he goes as Sam Bradford for Halloween.
That fucking idiot. I hate that guy. Like, can they not just get him a new jersey? So, like, he goes there and he requests, like, can I have a jersey with the floppy sleeves, please? He requests the jersey with the floppy. They probably already had it ready for him. They didn't even ask.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, get the fucking floppy sleeves ready, right? So they got new coaching staff there. The offense just isn't that great. Offensive line isn't very good. Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald. Christian Kirk's brand new. Larry Fitzgerald's an older guy. You're trying to throw in with Sam Bradford. Obviously, he's going to be consistent, but maybe that helps him get more volume. I'm just worried that they're going to be throwing it a lot, which could also benefit him PPR-wise. But I think you're going to see Josh Rosen getting a shot kind of earlier in the season than what people expect, probably because Sam Bradford gets hurt. And I think I would actually vault him up. I'd be more excited about David Johnson if Josh Rosen's the quarterback, because I think Josh Rosen's going to be a guy that can go out and be a high-volume quarterback his rookie year compared to the other. Like, I think he's more pro ready right now than any other rookie quarterback, and that he would come out there and succeed right away. So I'd actually like David Johnson better with Josh Rosen. I'm a little more worried about him with Sam Bradford. But I don't know. I think he might focus on Larry Fitzgerald. I'm worried about the offense. I'm worried about the line. It's just new coach. It's too much new stuff for me.
I haven't talked much about David Johnson this offseason. And so everything I say here is going to be a new take, because I haven't thought much about him. Honestly, I kind of just threw him into my rankings because that's where he deserved. But, man, after looking into it, everyone talks about the top 3 running backs, and I belong in this other crowd that thinks there's a big 4 in this top tier.
There is a big 4, right?
I think more people think it's 3, and then it's kind of like David Johnson's just kind of there.
I just assumed it was the big 4. There was 1, 2, 3, 4.
I always hear the big 3. It's just big 3, big 3, big 3. Well, I think David Johnson makes it a big 4. He's my 4th ranked guy. He's going the 4th, running back 4. Dude, 2 years ago, over 2,000 total yards, 20 total touchdowns. And then last year, obviously, you can't hold that year against him. Totally injured. New quarterback in Bradford. He's going to play it safe. You know he is. He's going to check down to David Johnson a bunch. So David Johnson could once again come close to those 80 receptions.
Yep.
Plus, you said wrist injury, not head, not knee, meaning I don't have to worry about it too much in regards to actual football. I'd take David Johnson number 4 overall for sure. And I wouldn't laugh at those who take him in the top 3. Like, I would legit consider him in the top 3. But at number 4, I'm on the clock. The big 3 running backs go. Johnson's my pick.
So I got into a real life situation with this just the other day. You and I are all on like just the same drafts always because we're weird like that. And I got drawn. We did our draft lottery, and I got the 4th pick. And I was sitting there like, fuck. I wanted top 3, so I can either get Bell, Gurley, or Elliott, or at the end, because I have a different strategy I want to go with that I'm not going to talk about right now. You know what? I'm going to keep that one to myself, so fuck you guys. But I got to that 4th spot, and I was seriously like, shit, I might take Saquon Barkley here.
Oh, my gosh, no.
If I have this pick. Like, I was highly considering. I actually tweeted at Elliot Chris saying, would number 4 be too high to take Saquon Barkley? Because I just, like, it's in my own head. Because here's the reason why. I don't want to be there stuck with having to choose David Johnson at the 4 because he's just the 4th pick. It just seems like is what he is. I mean, isn't that his ADP right now?
Right, it is.
So his ADP, is 1.04. That's just where he's going. I thought, obviously, there's a chance someone would like David Johnson and higher than me, and then I would have Zeke Elliott, Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell. One of those guys that I wanted. Like, I wanted one of those top 3 guys, but I'm not guaranteed one of those 3 guys at number 4.
Right.
So I went ahead and made the trade back to number 12 because I just wasn't, like, I just didn't want that. I don't know. I didn't want that decision made for me, I guess, at that time.
Yeah.
So I moved down because there's something I like better at 12 that I want to do than I do at that 4 spot.
How about this? I'm at number 6 in that league. I take Barkley. We make a trade later. Deal?
I don't know. I think I really like my 2 picks already.
Right.
Like, I already know who my 2 picks are at number 12, I think.
Right. That's got to be a good feeling.
It does.
All right, so David Johnson 4. I think this is where we kind of got mixed up a little bit. So everyone has the same top 3, it seems like, but the order's a little bit different. So who do you have at number 3?
Number 3, I mean, all these guys are properly ranked number 4 through 1, so it's just whatever. Ezekiel Elliott, he's going to be he's a guy that's in my head moving up to my number 2 running back. I think he's going to be. I think he might have 17 to 20 touchdowns. Honestly, you saw what the Cowboys were with when he wasn't out there. They were average. They were. Right. Dak Prescott was worse. You know.
Oh yeah.
He makes that play action game go. He makes their offense run. Obviously, Tyron Smith was out a few games. The offensive line is healthy. Back, and when they were healthy, I mean, they're unstoppable. Ezekiel Elliott is already a great running back. So combine the 2 of that, and you're going to have. I mean, in his first year, he scored a touchdown in the first 10 games,
yeah,
something like that. I think he had 10 touchdowns in the first 10 games, something like that.
Yeah, he had a hell of a rookie year.
Yeah, I expect him to do that again this year. I expect 100 yards a game, touchdown every game. I honestly expect him to have 17, 20 total touchdowns this year. And I think I might be a little bit higher than I am at Todd Gurley at this point in my head. I just expect him to be a volume monster. He's your number 1, so you obviously agree.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to get the ball a ton, and he should.
That's exactly what I felt, because before we did our last updates, I had him at number 3, and that's actually where his ADP is. His ADP is 1.03. I moved him up to number 1. I think he has less people on his team that are going to take targets away. Mm-hmm. So, and
his volume is like the best volume you can get. Sorry about that.
Oh no,
you're
spot
best
on.
Volume. Yeah.
The weakness of Zeke and why you might not take him number 1 overall in the leagues is because, especially in leagues that award points for reception, is because Zeke's never caught more than 32 passes in a season. So if there's a weakness, it's probably him out of the backfield.
It almost doesn't matter either for him though. If he has 17 to 20 touchdowns,
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly, because over 1,600 rushing yards, I believe, his rookie year.
Yeah.
He had 16 total touchdowns his rookie year. And then he almost had 1,000 yards, and he had 9 total touchdowns last year in 10 games.
Yeah.
He has a top 3 offensive line in the NFL. He's basically set up to succeed in that offense from a fantasy perspective. And I added this to the end here, and it kind of has to do with Zeke, but then a couple other players that we'll talk about. For whatever this is worth, it's based on last year's defenses against the run. Zeke does have the 6th hardest strength against the schedule, and a couple other guys here. Gurley has the hardest. Saquon has the 2nd hardest. Devontae Freeman has the 8th hardest. And Alvin Kamara has the 10th hardest. And if you go on the opposite end of that spectrum, actually Jordan Howard has the easiest. Dalvin Cook is 3rd easiest. Fournette is 7th. And Melvin Gordon is 8th. So like I said, kind of take that with a grain of salt because that can obviously change year to year.
You never know.
But it's just kind of interesting to see those names. I mean, you got Barkley, Gurley, and Zeke, 3 of your top 5 running backs who have some of the hardest schedules to go against running back perspective-wise.
It's hard. I hate those hardest and easiest schedules, blah, 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 because that's all based on last year. And then last year, the Jaguars would have been one of the easiest in comparison to 2016. They ended up being the best defense in the NFL. So,
Yeah, don't let that be your ultimate decision maker, I think is what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting to know.
Kind of off topic here. Well, actually, way off topic. Not about running backs at all. Just thought about this since we talked about it at the beginning. I'm going to make a bold prediction and go ahead and say, I'm just popping in my head. This is what Loaderbox does. If Randall Cobb's injury is serious, Dez Bryant will end up as a Green Bay Packer.
Bold prediction. You heard it here first. Dez is going to Green Bay is DJ's prediction.
Only if Cobb's injury is serious.
Oh, I don't know. That UW Whitewater guy is my pick to end up being the...
Kumaro?
Yeah, he's going to end up being the man.
Jake Kumaro? I don't know how long that'll last.
So you got to talk about running backs. You got to talk Packers bold predictions. Yeah. And you're having a hell of a day for a hangover.
I am.
All right, so you've got Zeke number 3. Who's your number 2?
Todd Gurley.
Toddy.
They finally, when Sean McVay came in, they're like, hey, this guy can actually catch the ball too. So maybe we should throw it to him.
Right.
And look what happened. You had fucking Todd Gurley as the number 1 scoring running back in the NFL last year, 1,305 yards rushing. He had 2,000 yards.
Can I throw in a stat real quick?
What?
Okay, so this is the difference between McVay and Fisher. So with Fisher, Gurley never had more than 60 targets. He never had more than 330 receiving yards, and he never caught a reception TD. In one year with McVay, almost had 90 targets, nearly 800 receiving yards, and 6 receiving touchdowns. Talk about dramatically improving your fantasy stock.
He totaled over 2,000 yards in 2,000 yards total and 19 touchdowns. Overall. So that's a hell of a fucking year there, all right? TG2K or whatever you want to call him. Doesn't sound good, but do I need to say much more? I mean, in the offense that he's in, they're going to continue to find ways to get him the ball. They've realized they can throw it to him. I mean, the only thing you have to worry about is injury. He should have another really big year.
Oh, for sure.
I fully believe that. I think these next 2 guys, they're both going to have monster years. They're going to have more touches than anybody else in the NFL, the 2 of them. Overall touches, so carries and receptions. And
thanks for defining
they're going to be... Yeah. I have so many different, definitions for touching. You never know what is going to happen. So I don't want him touching little girls. So
his last name is Gurley.
Exactly. So not too many touches, just the right kind of touches. There's not much to say on it. If you don't think that they're top 3, then fuck off. I don't want to hear your...
Then you shouldn't be listening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my number 2 guy as well. He's going as the first pick in the draft. He was my number 1 prior to our latest update. I went with Zeke, as I just talked about, over Gurley, because I know Zeke's going to be the focal point of that offense, since Dallas really doesn't have much else that scares anyone. Whereas Gurley, you've got the up-and-coming quarterback on a new offense, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks. All those guys can potentially steal targets, and I know Gurley's going to get his, and he warrants a top 3 pick for sure. But that reason is what makes me lean Zeke over Gurley. Mm-hmm. But hard to deny what he did last year. Nearly 2,000 yards, 19 total touchdowns. You take him at 2, everyone's going to be cool with it. It's a no surprise pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then my number 1 was Le'Veon Bell. Again, he's Mr. There's not one person in the NFL I like watching run more than I like watching Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, it pisses me off. I hate when he stands behind the line.
He's a pretty big guy, but this guy can stop and go with the best of anybody. And stand and just go. Go from a complete stop.
And his stiff arm is pretty nasty, too.
It's nasty. And then he's one of the best wide receiving running backs there is. Just unbelievable. So the catch he made against the Jaguars in the playoffs last year was just disgusting. He's just incredible talent, and they're just going to feed him. I mean, this is going to be the last year Pittsburgh's going to have him.
Likely.
Here's my point for him. He's going to sit out the whole preseason, which is perfect. You don't need him out there. You don't want him running around.
Yeah, you don't want
Keep
him
him
out
fresh.
there.
He's already got a shit ton of yards on him. All right.
Yeah.
And the Steelers, they just want to win a Super Bowl. Like they're still in that position. The AFC's not really good. They have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I mean, really, who's their competition? In my head, it's just the Patriots and the Jaguars. Really, that's it. That's it to me. Not the Dolphins. Sorry, Ben.
I was waiting for that. I was like, come on, just tell us.
They're dead last. And since this is going to be his last year, this is going to be his last year in Pittsburgh. He's going to get ran into the fucking ground. He might die a Steeler. Because he might die at the end of this year. He might physically not be able to do it.
You haven't paid him for the long term.
Have.
Run him into the ground.
No. They're going to run the shit out of him. He's going to have 1 million touches. People don't think he's going to have, 400 touches, or 400 was it? The number that they don't think he's going to continue to do?
Yeah.
He's going to do more. They're going to give him the ball even more this year. Because they're done. They're done.
They're just going to have IV bags just waiting for him on the sideline every game.
Why let him go somewhere being a healthy, still good? Don't let him go and be better as somebody else. Team, run him into the ground now. Get all of it out.
Yeah,
of him.
destroy his body.
They're going to give him the ball
before he joins the Patriots.
Correct. Exactly.
All right, so he's your number one.
He's my number one.
He's your number one. He's my number three. He's current average draft position is the third pick overall as the second running back. Obviously properly ranked. Like I said with David Johnson, any of these top four guys are kind of interchangeable. I'd be happy with any of them.
Yeah.
But you've said this in the past, and you kind of opened my eyes to this. The Steelers' offense is at its best when Le'Veon Bell is the focal point.
Yep.
So while everyone loves Antonio Brown, and rightfully so, Bell is actually what makes that team go.
Yep.
And if you're playing in a full or a half PPR league, then yeah, I can justify Bell at number one overall. But for the time being, in a standard league, I'm going to keep him at number three. But yeah, man, over 75 catches each of the last 2 years. That's pretty legit out of a running back. The thing about Le'Veon Bell, and this was kind of interesting to me because I was curious yesterday when I was prepping for this, his touchdowns aren't booming, they're consistent. When he's played double-digit games in a season, he's never had less than 8 touchdowns, but he's never had more than 11. And I really probably chalk that up to the fact that Antonio Brown's put together like a 3-year span that really not too many receivers have ever done. That's included a ton of touchdowns. So if he were to just take like a natural regression one of these freaking years, Le'Veon Bell's going to scoop up some of those touchdowns. So yeah, and Bell anywhere in the top 4, I can't argue the other side to that. Just if he's there in your top 4 and you take him, it's worthy of your pick, no doubt.
I love Le'Veon. He's like one of my man crushes. He's going to have more than 11 touchdowns this year. I guarantee it.
All right, another guarantee. 2 guarantees in one podcast.
I guarantee you. It does seem like they don't run him as much in the goal line. Number 2 point I want to make is if Ben Roethlisberger is hurt, and whose volume is going to stay the same? It's going to be Le'Veon Bell, and as you've seen, Antonio Brown's dramatically drops.
Yep.
He hasn't had Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterback.
Right.
Le'Veon's the consistent on that team.
Exactly.
It runs through him.
There's only one running back that we didn't discuss was in mine, and we talked a lot about him last time, so I'll just briefly touch on why I have him where I have him. And I've got Christian McCaffrey ranked number 11.
Oh, yeah.
He's currently running back 15, going as the 11th pick in the second round. I think he's a bit underrated here. A guy I'm definitely targeting, especially in half and full PPR leagues. Last year, 435 rushing yards on 117 carries. I think that goes up. I think he sees at least 150 carries, and obviously the yards will come with that. Look at it from the receiving standpoint. Last year, 80 catches, 650 yards, 5 touchdowns. Maybe he doesn't catch 80 balls again, but he should come damn close. And we all know he's got big play potential. He should come close to 700 receiving yards, multiple receiving touchdowns again. So that's huge in leagues that award points for receptions as well. So I was kind of originally opposed to McCaffrey on my fantasy team, but at that current ADP, you could legit go in your first round, one of the top running backs. In the second round, come back with still a really good receiver. And then early third round, if McCaffrey's there, you can still get him to be your running back too. That is the ideal draft, I think, if you're going to land McCaffrey. It's top running back, really good receiver. Early third round, you get McCaffrey. That's where I would probably target him.
I actually really like McCaffrey this year a lot more than I did last year.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, and now the Panthers have backed me up about him getting more carries this year.
Yeah.
I said this just last week. I think his carries go up dramatically. I think
So
CJ
do I.
Anderson's fucking garbage. So I think that I love saying it. It feels so good to say about him. He's fucking garbage. And Jay Ajayi, just so I can state that in for you. His carries, they'll go up. They're going to go dramatically up. He's going to get just as many targets or receptions as he did last year.
Yeah.
In that area, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It's going to be right around there, that 80. So his numbers are just going to get better this year. So that's a guy I'm actually kind of targeting this year if he's there.
Yes. So that kind of wraps up our running back portion. I want to talk to you real quick about this before we totally wrap it up. I know that you were kind of gone this weekend, so you might not have saw the headline, but
so far gone.
So far gone. Kelvin Benjamin, did you see his comments about the Panthers and Cam Newton?
I saw like hints of people tweeting about it. It has something to do with like them not using him the right way or something.
Well, he basically ripped ripped Cam, saying like he didn't have good ball placement, wasn't accurate enough. Dude, Kelvin Benjamin's in for a rude awakening in Buffalo with those quarterbacks.
Josh Allen.
What a terrible thing to say. Like, how are you blaming Cam Newton and that offense when Newton's been there, he's put up consistent numbers, he dominated with Steve Smith. Kelvin Benjamin's the one that showed up to camp looking like he just ate a Dairy Queen cake every freaking day.
I was just gonna say it's hard to put good ball placement when you go from 210 pounds to 280 pounds the next year. Jesus Christ, like the guy fucking he didn't expect to be thrown into an offensive lineman on the field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we're going to be talking about wide receivers here really soon in the next couple of episodes. So I don't even know if we'll get to Benjamin because, man, in that offense, he's not going to crack anything that I want to target. But I just kind of wanted to get that out there.
He wasn't even good last year for Buffalo. What does he expect?
No. Remember when everyone was so happy, too? Like, oh, we went to Buffalo. We got to target him. And he just did nothing.
He's garbage. He's just a big, slow idiot.
You should just convert to tight end and learn how to block.
Yeah,
he needs blocker.
To do that. He could be a mismatch at tight end. That would work.
There you go.
Maybe. Yeah, he's just fucking. Chargers should try to get him and put him at tight end.
Chargers should trade for him and put him at tight end. There dude, you got all the answers today.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
All right, let's wrap this puppy up. As always, tweet any questions you'd like answered on the podcast at Loaded Box. Check out our website for our latest blogs, fantasy rankings, podcasts. We're at loadedboxpodcast.com. Where is it loading? Here we go. The next episode, we are hopefully to record something this Tuesday. We're going to hopefully be able to spring that one up, a midweek podcast here. So stay tuned for that one because we've got a surprise guest potentially. It should be a good time.
If we get this guest, it should be. There's some things I want to talk about, but it should be our highest. It's the one I'm most excited about if we can get it, and it should be our highest listened to podcast. So be on the lookout. I'm more than excited for this. Hopefully, I'm just going to DM the person today, and hopefully that he gets back to us.
Yes, so we're not going to name drop yet just because we want to make sure that it's in the books first. But hopefully we'll be recording that on Tuesday of this week, so make sure you're checking that one out. Reminder, get yourself qualified to win that Odell Beckham Jr. signed mini helmet. Follow on Twitter, follow the instructions. I talked about it in the beginning. You've probably already done it by now. We're available on iTunes by searching Loaded Box. Subscribe, rate, and review. And with that, DJ, send us away.
Bye.